This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
Here we go. The dunks have been rolling in thick and fast over the season so far, and we hope we get a few more of them in the month of February because it's Dunkuary on behalf of Sportsbet. For every dunk in the month of February, we are donating $500 to Australian prostate cancer. That's $500 for every single dunk. I reckon there's going to be plenty of them if the players know that we're giving this money away to a good cause. And not just charity, there's also going to be a chance in March, Melbourne United take on the Brisbane Bullets, and one lucky fan is going to have the chance to shoot out for whatever we make for charity. We're going to match it, and one fan is going to shoot from half court to try to win that cash all for themselves as well. So let's hope we get plenty of dunks this February. Enjoy and gamble responsibly.
Well, it's the first meeting between these two teams this season, so the scout will be interesting between Brian Goorjian and Scott Roth. Steindl, bam! That's his forte. McDaniel, got it going on.
Fantastic ball movement.
How's the arc on that from McIntosh? It's all happening, Dwayne. It is all happening. From a metre outside, drops another one. 15 of 29 from three, 52%. They're going to add another one.
Oh, 16.
Josh Burgett.
Why not?
Phenomenal. Adams off balance. Oh my goodness. How good was that?
He's on one. That's what happens when you start knocking down those threes, hitting off-balance shots. You in a groove.
Then get the ball in Josh Adams' hands. He's 8 of 11. This has been ridiculous. Adams. Loving his afternoon at the office.
Oh my. Josh Adams is on one. 7 of 10.
I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. They are in a daze. 23-pointers made.
Josh Adams, this has been some sort of performance.
2 left. Oh, crazy good.
My goodness, Corey.
22 threes made.
Crazy good win for the JackJumpers. Best win of the season, and they are a playoff contender.
That's just a phenomenal team performance. 20 assists, 22 threes. A game that this whole club will remember for a long time.
Well, the Tasmania JackJumpers went on a three-point shooting spree last weekend, and to equal the NBL record, and at 7-7, they are thinking playoffs in their debut season. Tonight they face a desperate Bullets lineup who have lost 7 of their last 8 and must win to keep in touch with the pace setters, which adds up to a very entertaining affair as we welcome you to Nissan Arena for Saturday Night Hoops. It's the continuation of round 13 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. Hello everybody, I'm John Casey. Great to have your company. A doubleheader coming up, second against third. The Phoenix coming up against Perth a little later. Right now we're talking Brisbane and the JackJumpers. Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze are with me. Looking forward to this.
Very much so, and anytime you've seen a team knock down 22 three-pointers in a game, that'll get you up and about. But their calling card this season has been their defence, so if they can keep that hot streak going from the three-point line, where they've been modest in that area throughout the course of the season so far, but combine them with their lockdown defence. Best defensive team as guarding the three-point line in the competition as we speak, and in the last 5 games have been holding teams to 20% from the three-point line, which is outstanding.
Good news for the Brisbane Bullets. Nathan Sobey is back into their starting 5. We take a look at the DoorDash starting 5. Get 30% off your first 3 orders. Use the code 3-pointer.
That is good news for Bullets fans. First time Sobey and Kadee have started together this season. They're in the backcourt, Patterson on the wing, and Franks and Salt up front. And I tell you what, there's pressure on this Bullets team. Lost 3 straight. They've lost 7 of their last 8. And look, they were poor on Thursday night against the Taipans. Head coach James Duncan said post-game he felt like they were playing a little selfish, so a lot on their shoulders for this one today.
One man who's never poor is courtside for us. It's the 1990 NBL MVP with the Brisbane Bullets, Derek Rucker. Great to see you, Derek. Big night for the Bullets.
It is a big night, Case, and thanks for having me. Look here, the Bullets have been frustratingly poor over the past 2 games, and Coach James Duncan, he's looking for consistency. He's got Nathan Sobey and Kadee D starting for the first time, as Liam mentioned, and they need a spark right from the jump. Offensively, look for the Bullets to keep the ball in the hands of Sobey, of Franks, and Patterson as they seek some offensive consistency and hopefully find some stinginess on the defensive end, guys.
You're talking D, you're talking Tasmania. They do it better than anyone. The DoorDash starting five looks a little bit like this, Andrew.
Yes, and McDaniel comes in after a 20-point outing in the first half against Illawarra, so he's earned that. Jock Perry, he won't play starter minutes, but he's going to start. And the other one that's missing, Matt Kenyon, you told me, Liam, it's a hand injury that's forced him out, who has been good. He's only been averaging the 16 minutes, but he gives him that case. He gives him that starch on the defensive end.
He's done a great job. He certainly has. Derek, what have you made of the Jack Jumpers this season?
Ironically, I believe the Jack Jumpers play a style of play that James Duncan wants the Bullets to play, but they've been outstanding. They've played well on the road, and they're going to have to perform well tonight, because let me tell you guys, it's rainy up here in Brisbane. This house is packed, and it is electric in here. I can barely hear you guys at the moment. Let's get into it.
Nissan Arena's been jumping all season. Great job by the Queensland fans, and they're being deluged at the moment with rain. We send our thoughts to everyone. Stay safe up there. Let's hope we can entertain you tonight with a Brisbane-Tasmania clash that lives up to all the hype. And it's Brisbane in blue working to the right of your screen who've controlled the tip, and will try and get the fans involved early. As Franks sees it against McVeigh, he wants to shoot quickly, and that's why.
Nice to see Robert Franks get an early touch, an early bucket. Just 10 points on 3 of 10 shooting in that game on Thursday night, and the Bullets need to get him going.
Him and Patterson, for that matter. 22 points between those two in that loss.
Here's McVeigh looking for the answering bucket. Can't get it to go. Straight away, they're firing from deep.
Here's Franks. They run a set for him, and it's just a ISO on the wing, pulls up for the mid-range, and he knocks it down. Quality player. Not sure he sees enough of the ball for my liking in some of the actions we've seen, and can go missing in quarters, and sometimes I don't know it's all because of his own doing.
Sobey, nice pass inside, looking for Salt, who goes to work, and he travelled again to wave the points away.
Well, that's one that went missing for the Bullets. Salt, he had Robert Franks wide open in the corner if he wanted to find him, but felt he was close enough to the hoop, but the turnover resulted.
A chance for the Jack Jumpers to open their scoring. Adams shares it with Majette, touch pass, McDaniel working on Sobey and found a way to the baseline, but was talked out of the bucket, and Brisbane will get possession.
Well, Brisbane like this start. I know it's only been a minute and a bit, but their first two defensive possession applying a lot of pressure, and they've been terrible in the first quarters. They've given up over 30 in the last two outings.
Look at this ball movement from Brisbane, just off the mark, Franks, but Kadee keeps it alive and found Franks baseline. He couldn't control it.
A couple of good looks from Kadee. He's got that point guard mentality. Saw Franks hit that first one, wants to find him for some more. They weren't able to capitalise.
So Josh Adams brings the Jack Jumpers up the floor. Majette. Now back to Adams, who elevates. Brought it deep. Oh, well done, McDaniel, who's ghosted him from behind of Kadee. Perhaps should have pulled the trigger the first time.
Oh, dear.
Couldn't get it to go. Nor could Jock Perry. McVeigh making hard work of it. Thought he was fouled. Couldn't get a whistle. 0 of 6 to start the game, the Jack Jumpers, as Sobey exploring, found a mismatch. Nice finish.
Good aggressive attack by Sobey. Apparently on minutes restriction, so he'd be looking to be as aggressive as he can in his time on the floor.
That's something we might explore a little later if we get time, Andrew, this minutes restriction that you speak about. But Brisbane all up and in here, giving Tasmania nothing to work with. Shot clock rolls to 3. McDaniel, Perry, fall away, never looked likely. They've come up empty again, and eventually McVeigh breaks the drought. It took 2.5 minutes.
They need to sort out their rebounding problem, the Brisbane Bullets. Their defense has been really good, but they're not getting rewarded. They got let off the hook the last possession with giving him 3 goes at it, and again McVeigh in the right place and just not aggressive enough in the box out, and the simple fundamentals of getting someone on your back and making sure you keep someone off the boards.
McVeigh's been good from the stripe this season. That's 13 of 14 at 94%. And pressure up the floor as well now as the fans sit down. Sobey picks up the dribble. Franks in the corner. Patterson hasn't got a look at it yet. Nice pass and good hands there as well from Adams to deflect it away from Sobey. Majette off and running. Little support ahead of him initially. Well done, Kadee, to corral him. And now Adams. It's Perry for the screen. Fires the three. It looks a little unconventional at times, but if you're knocking them down, it doesn't matter. They're in front for the first time on the back of a 6-0 run.
Oh, he's feeling good. Josh Adams, isn't he? 28 points last week, 8 of 11 from long range, and he is flowing with confidence as a result.
But Liam, why are they, with guys 8 of 11, and I know you look at his overall three-point shooting is only at 30%, a great pass in, Patterson around the work, around the basket, but Jack Salt is a good 2 meters off, got that on-ball screen. When a guy is white hot like that, Sobey's got to do a better job of chasing. But Salt like that, when he's showing, got a hard show a little harder.
Here's the danger man again in the corner. Overcooked it. Well done, McDaniel, to keep it alive. Majette busy, back to where it started from. He's off the mark. 3-point shooting from Tasmania. 1 of 4 to start the game.
Kadee called for the foul underneath. Trying to keep Jock Perry off the offensive board. And yeah, it's fascinating to see Jock Perry get the start in this game. It's unusual to see anyone get a start after a DMP coach's decision, let alone a guy who's a development player on that squad. So a couple of early minutes takes the heat out of the game at the centre position. They go a little smaller now, and they bring on Fabian Krizlovic. Good minutes from the big fella.
He started in that game against Phoenix a couple of weeks ago, and he's not in there for his scoring. And if you look at the boards, they've done a number on Brisbane. He's served his purpose.
Jack McVeigh's busy early. 6 points for him. Tassie on top by 3. Almost 4 minutes played here in this opening quarter.
Really nice start from Jack McVeigh. Out-muscling Franks for the offensive rebound, and then here, picking and popping, cashing in off the Josh Majette fine.
Let's get to Derek Rucker courtside.
And early, one of the recurrent themes in this Bullet season is giving up too many offensive rebounds. And what that does, in essence, guys, it's extra target practice for Tasmania shooters, and it's kind of played this way all through the season as Patterson fires no good.
Franks nice with a clean-up too.
Well, they haven't. The JackJumpers don't have a. Can't believe they've got a defensive rebound. It's all on the offensive end. All 5 of their rebounds coming at the offensive end.
Majette exploring, decides to fire. Good option as he opens his scoring account.
Really like the ball movement of the JackJumpers in the half court. They get it from side to side, and you can see that it's really. There's a poor pass by Patterson.
Krizlovic picked it off. Had trouble reeling it back in, but got it to a good man. And Majette fills up the triple. Nice finish again. They've opened up a 6-point lead, scoring the last 5. Timeout called by Brisbane. It's Tassie on top, 14-8.
They've got some things to talk about, Brisbane. And you don't want to see this Tasmanian team start to heat up from the perimeter. Majette just walks into an open mid-ranger. And then here in transition, the trail man steps into it in rhythm. 3 of 6 from long range now for the JackJumpers.
At them and hit them and push them out. All right? No 50-50 passes. Right here, we're going PB3. 5-man, you're going to flash. From there, look ahead to see if we can get anything. If you don't have anything, throw it back to the guard. Set the punch screen, and we can get into some wedge. All right, right away.
I'll take it out. Yep.
All right? Keep our heads now. Take care of the turnovers. Box your man out. It's going to be a physical battle, stuff that we talked about. Take the challenge. Are we good? Yeah. All right, come on, baby.
Well, the thing for me, they're talking about just trying to get a little bit more composure. A couple of those turnovers have cost them dearly. They've got the 4 already. But to me, it's all about what they're doing on the defensive end. You can see if you're watching it, on the sideline on balls, they're hard showing. In the middle on balls, they're in their drops. But you look at what's happened with Adams and Majette so far, they're both in, when they're in that drops, they're coming off those middle on-ball screens, and it's just, as Derek used, target practice. They're coming in there and just allow him to shoot it.
Well, there's been 20 field goal attempts in the game. Tassie have taken 14 of them. It's a 70-30 split at the moment with Brisbane's turnover problems. Here's Drimmick into the game, forces his way down low, has an immediate impact off the bench.
That'll feel good for Anthony Drimmick. It's been a rough season, to be honest, for Drimmick. Career lows in scoring and all his percentages. Easy one right there at the rim.
Now going to be called on Brisbane here. Krebs picks up his first personal, third team foul on Brisbane.
Here we go.
And JackJumpers, who gave up the first 4 points of the game, have been impressive since then. Well, on cue, though, they've coughed it up. Good work from Krebs. Drimmick back-to-back buckets. So back to a two-point spread. Krislovic, Adams, inside Krebs, confronted by Harrison. Krislovic, foul's going to be called on Krebs, his second, fourth team foul.
Foul blue, 17, hands foul, baseline.
Well, these teams foul more than any others in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Tasmania averaged 21 a game, Brisbane 20, which effectively is putting the opposition on the stripe on average at every quarter.
Still 14 on the shot.
Tick over 4 minutes out from quarter time. And it's the JackJumpers. His road record has been impressive this season. McVeigh couldn't complete it. Franks with the loose ball rebound, and now Kadee. Franks gets it back, working on McVeigh. Tough shot. Didn't get enough on him. McDaniel the rebound. 6 boards to 4 overall in favour of Tasmania, but that's their first defensive rebound. Krislovic by Harrison. He's out of sorts at the moment. Seems to have lost some confidence. Krislovic lost a handle on it. Shot clock to 7. Majette against Franks. Long way from the hoop. Won't be discouraged though. Looks inside. One on the shot clock. Not going to get it off in time.
Well, that's as clunky as it gets.
It was
for an offensive possession, but on the flip side, James Duncan would be wrapped with the energy and intensity his team showed that possession. And the awareness from Robert Franks there, late in the shot clock, guarding the screener. Strong show. It turned into a switch and then a hand up on Josh Majette. 24-second shot clock violation.
Krebs will bring Brisbane back up the floor here. Chance for them to tie it away or maybe even poke their noses back in front. What has been a tempo start to the game. This Drimmick being busy. Works past Adams and confronted by Krislovic, who's called for the foul. It's going to be his second personal.
And that's where they've been successful, either with the pass or the penetration. Getting into the paint and attacking the rim. 10 of their 14 points have come from inside the paint. So they're dealing with the pressure either off the bounce with the ball, and a couple of times they've been able to use their execution with some good entry passes. But it's the... You look at this contest so far, and Brisbane is 6 of 9 from the field. It's those turnovers and rebounding. Just fix that up, and there'd be a different complexion of this game altogether.
Anthony Drimmick from the stripe this year has had terrible problems. He's 4 of 12 at 33%. When he came back from college, he was an elite free throw shooter, 80% and above.
You know what that says? That says it's between the ears and the pressure of the situation or the uncertainty, anxiety, whatever it may be. Because when you've shown over an extended period of time that you can get in up above 80, then you know it's not something fundamentally wrong.
Oh. Well, Adams with a party trick around his back to himself. Majette got a good look at it. Caught it deep. Kept alive. Well done, Steindl. Back to Majette. Steindl back to Majette. They exchange passes. Shot clock to 4. They get Steindl a look from outside. He drops the triple. They're 4 of 8 from deep, and they've opened up a 4-point lead.
Well, that momentum has flowed on for the JackJumpers from the perimeter, and Brisbane just not rewarding themselves. Playing good D, hustling throughout possessions, but not finishing those possessions on the boards.
Get the ball into the corner, and the first 3 of the game for Brisbane from Deng Deng.
Yeah, he was scoreless in that one. last outing, and I'm impressed with the ball movement of the JackJumpers, the way they whip it from side to side and their willingness just to get it out of their hands. It doesn't stick really with anyone.
Adams ambitious, can't complete it, loose ball. And it comes back, and a chance. What a finish, and it'll have an impact off the bench. Kyle McIntosh as we go to Derek Rucker.
Andrew, I agree with you with the ball movement. Also being here live in person as Harrison misses a bunny. Oh, my. Oh, boy, that was some anxious moments right there. That's a hard way to get 2 points. But, Andrew, their player movement is also very good. They set good screens. They move the ball. And they're very directional with their focus offensively, meaning that I think they have a pretty good idea who's going to shoot from play phase to play phase.
Yeah, they know where the destination is. They go through their process well. And as Derek mentioned, they understand they've got to get to their spots and keep that thing humming from side to side.
Here's Krebs, shot clock to 7, baseline. Deng dancing along the line, comes up with a 2. He's had a nice influence off the bench.
Very nice, 7 points. Quick impact from Deng, and he needs to come out and have an impact with his energy. You can see him getting after a little bit defensively, needs to help out on the boards, and he's also knocked down a couple of shots.
Bullets back on top. Shot clock rolls to 5 here for the JackJumpers as we count down the last 60 seconds of the opening quarter. Again, Adams, that's a little out of control, has coughed it up. As Patterson brings Brisbane back up the floor. Wraparound pass from Deng, found Harrison. They've scored the last 6, Brisbane, and lead by 3.
We'll find a little bit of rhythm. That was a elite one-on-one defense from Deng. The last possession. Here he's switching onto the ball handler again.
Kick outside, McIntosh. He comes up with a triple, so 5 of 10 from deep in the opening quarter. They continue to stroke it.
Well, they're getting really good looks, and when you're coming off a 22 of 42 and you've equaled the record for three-pointers made in a 20-minute game, 40-minute game, excuse me, then you'd always expect there'd be some carryover. You're certainly going to test yourself from there and see if there is, and they've done that with 10 three-point field goal attempts, and they've knocked down 5 of them.
There's a chance as well. Deng thought he was fouled. Wow, 4 of 4 from the field. His 9 points is a game high.
And all in 4 minutes. Knocked down that first 3, and then just been in the right place at the right time and been able to capitalise around the basket.
The JackJumpers have lost their way a little bit at the offensive end. And on the buzzer, it's Sobey firing, wanted a whistle, can't get any love from the referees. And in a seesawing opening quarter, it's Brisbane who finish on top. They hold a 2-point lead at quarter time from Nissan Arena. It's Brisbane 24, Tasmania 22. We have got plenty more coming your way. Deng will get you out of your seats. And after this game, it's going to be the Phoenix and Perth 2nd v 3rd. Welcome back. Brisbane Bullets and Tasmania JackJumpers putting on an entertaining show here at the start of our doubleheader, with both teams having their moments. Tasmania's biggest lead was 6. The Bullets hold a 2-point buffer at quarter time. And a number of players making things happen, notably Deng Deng's 9 points on 4 of 4 shooting. Our FamCam winner from Kmart tonight, the $50 Kmart gift card, Ben Ferris. And the family loves their basketball. A photo from when they took their cousin to his first ever Bullets game. Now, there's some people having fun. If you're in Brisbane, get to a game. In fact, around Australia, check out a game in your local city.
Best entertainment package, sporting entertainment you'll find in this country, that's for sure. With what you went to all the NBL games, they do a great job, so it's well worth a look. And done a good job with Josh Adams, the Brisbane Bullets, and in the half court, I think their defense, you can tell they've made a conscious effort. They're cranking it up. The intensity on the ball is good. They've just let themselves down with their rebounding.
Sobey lob pass down low. Patterson baseline, needs an outlet. Finds Robert Franks, who's hit more threes than any other big man in the competition.
He's a tweener when it comes to big men. He's a big man that owns the glass. He's doing a great job, almost double figures in rebounding. He's right up there, but he can knock down the 3 ball.
I like the fact he's had plenty of touches in this first quarter and change. He really was hiding in a corner at times on Thursday night, not getting a lot of the ball. And tonight, so far, heavily involved.
Taking more shots than any other Brisbane player, which is a good sign for them. This is Jared Weeks knocking down a 3. That's 6 triples out of their 9 field goals.
And it's 6 different JackJumpers who have knocked one in from long range. Everybody getting a piece of the pie.
And with some of these guys, I'm sure the scout would be, well, let's just see how they go. But they're in this rich vein of form that you've got to really close out hard on everyone right now.
Patterson can't get it to go. He's 1 of 3 from the field. He's had his problems in recent games, Lamar Patterson. Well, as effective at the offensive end as we would hope he would be. Oh, good pressure there from Sobey. Almost came up with a steal.
If there was a deflection.
Front court only. Front only.
I thought Sobey got deflected that over.
Just don't throw it in the back. Just don't throw it in the back court, okay?
I guess maybe the official judging that it wasn't deflected.
Weeksy's on your side.
Well, a little too quick to get a definitive look at that, but Jared Weeks maybe with an argument there. 90 seconds done. Second quarter. Sobey sharing it. Patterson can't connect. Long rebound falls to Steindl.
Getting back to Derek's earlier point, and we're no sports scientists, but the way Sobey is moving, I see no reason why he should be restricted to 20 minutes, given the bounce he's got, getting after it, and he's looking quick. He looks more sprightly than I've seen him for quite some time.
Subs.
Derek Rucker, courtside.
Andrew, I've got a little bit of an issue also with the load management and the minutes restriction, because I want to know specifically how they ascertain how many minutes a player can play coming back from whatever injury. Like Nathan Sobey is scheduled to play around 20 minutes tonight. How did they come to that figure? Why is it not 15? Why is it not 25? And if he gets to 21 and they say, oh, that might be too many, do you really think that extra minute is going to have a major impact on his future well-being?
I agree with you, Derek. And plus, the nature of this game, you can have a 10-minute period where it's a bit sloppy and your load is not real much, but then you can have a 10-minute stretch where you're out and it's really intense that can equate to a lot more minutes. So it is, to me, a little different, but, well, maybe the sports scientists, I'm pretty sure they know a little bit more than me. Maybe not Derek. Derek's a Davidson boy, very highly academic school, but...
It's Patterson. Beating Sobey, who lights it up but can't connect. Weeks with the rebound. Sobey 1 of 3 from the field, none of 2 from deep. 2.5 played in the second. McIntosh lost the handle under pressure. Spills to Patterson. Support on both wings. Franks joining in as well. Good things. Nothing bad to happen. Foul's going to be called here on Tasmania on Bairstow. Getting back to that discussion about the load management. I was told, Andrew, that when you were coaching the Kings, that you would wave the expert away and say, I'm playing him, I don't care.
No, I don't know about that, but there were times when it was frustrating when you got an elite guy like Kevin Lish and you're told that he's got a limit, and I rely on the players. You know, to me, the best judge is the player. If the player says, listen, I need to come out, well, then fair enough.
They're going to be called on Steindl here, his first personal, so another error creeping in. Chance for Brisbane to go to the stripe.
I remember one time, guys, I was coming back from an injury. I think it was a hamstring or something, and I asked the coach how many minutes I can expect to play that evening, and he said 28 points and 10 assists.
That's it. That is it.
See, only the 10, Derek. I think you hold the record at about 24. Was it a quiet night, I guess, coming back from injury?
Thank you, Case.
Still 2 here, fellas. Relax.
Opportunity to see the ball go through the hoop here for Isaiah Moss. Misses that first attempt. 3 goes at it here from the stripe, coming off a donut against the Taipans. And 3 of 14 from 3 over the course of the season. This is a guy who we can stroke it. No, Derek knows he can stroke it. He's done lots of work with him away from Bullets team sessions, and a guy that the organisation would love to see get going a little bit. Help them with that scoring punch off the bench.
Well, he's 0 of 6 his last 3 outings, so he's due to get it going.
Perry fires the 3 ball. That might be just taking the 3-point shooting a little too far. They've been busy, but the D from Brisbane has been hustling. McDaniel did well, got away from Sobey. Just appeared to pull up a little short there. We'll keep an eye on that. He's knocking down the 2 for Tassie.
Perry yet to have a field goal, I think, in his time with the JackJumpers, but he can stroke it. He can stretch the floor. He's shown at the collegiate level that he's got that in him. Certainly as a junior with the Melbourne Tigers, he'd throw him up, sometimes against the coach's advice.
Sobey's pass to Kadee. Did well to reel that in, Jason Kadee. And then Sobey is going to the bench now. Just at times, particularly the defensive end, he will lose his assignment, or the player will quick step away from him, and he just can't seem to recover at the moment. So he's still not 100%. But Brisbane are on top here by a point, 6.5 out from halftime. Just 6 points for the JackJumpers in almost 4 minutes in the second quarter. Need to find a spark. McIntosh can be that man. McDaniel, Adams, Perry. Shot clock to 5. Weeks elects to fire. Couldn't get it to go. Franks with the rebound. Number 5 for him in that category. He leads the game. Drimmick did well coming off the bench in the opening quarter. That's a nice pass, and that's an even better finish.
Really nice execution from the Bullets, and you can see a concerted effort from this team to move the ball, find each other in scoring situations today. I mentioned off the top, James Duncan saying it felt like they played a little selfish in the Tropics on Thursday night. Well, tonight that ball is moving it through hands.
From the restart, McDaniel, McIntosh. Not beyond the press from Brisbane. They can't finish from deep, though. Franks drags down another rebound. So 1 of 3 from long range since quarter time, Tasmania. And just 2 of 6 overall from the field. Middle stages of the second. Drimmick did well. Feeds Kadee. Can't complete it. Loose ball kept alive by Franks. Here's Harrison. Right now, Franks is their go-to man, and he's fouled. 3-point attempt. Josh Adams picks up the foul. It's going to be his first personal.
There's an aggression about Robert Franks tonight that Bullets fans will be enjoying. He started the season, he was a constant double-double threat, one of the leaders in scoring, leaders in rebounding, a 20 and 10 kind of guy, and has gone awfully quiet in recent times. And sometimes you just feel like he's not going out there and asserting his authority on ball games. Well, you can see he's taken an aggressive mindset into this one.
Well, these teams actually played the first game of the season 85 days ago. It was an overtime thriller. And Franks had 19 points, 11 boards in 37 minutes. And he was aggressive. He was making things happen. And we thought, well, gee, Brisbane and Franks, this is going to be entertaining. But as you say, he's been oscillating up and down a little. But tonight he switched on.
Still averaging 16 and 8. And I think when early on in the season, you're still learning about the players. This league is scouted to an inch of its life. So it doesn't take too many games before opposition coaches and staffs figure out the strengths and weaknesses. They become apparent very early on. And that's when it comes down to more than just the individual. It's how you get those individuals involved and what you do to counter what the defense is doing. And I think Franks is a high quality player.
Adams got away from Krebs. Confronted by Deng, needs help. Majet hasn't seen a lot of it. Perry. Shot clock rolls to 6 from close range. McVeigh is fouled off to the free throw line. And Krebs in the vicinity there already has 2 fouls.
And there you see Jock Perry, one of his assets is his size. At just a little over 7 foot, he can pass over the defense, and that pass was a little late, but because of his size, he was still able to thread the needle, and well read by the big man to make that entry pass.
We're talking about the minutes restriction and the debate around all of that before, a bit of a bugbear for us on the commentary team. Another one is guys going to the bench when they're on a bit of a heater, when they're just starting to warm up and get themselves going. And that's exactly what's happened here with Robert Franks. Was really starting to find his groove, slicing to the rim, getting fouled on the perimeter, stepping up, knocking down some free throws. Only player in the game in double figures. He's checked out, taking a seat.
Pressure up the floor from the JackJumpers here, but Brisbane get beyond it. Drimmick feeds in the corner. And a travelling violation called on Deng, so good hustle there from Josh Adams to get back in his face and just create some doubt. And there is Robert Franks, benched 11 points, 6 boards for him, including 7 points in this quarter out of the 9 that Brisbane has scored.
To me also, what you're saying is further enhancing, and maybe it's because you're just looking for some combination, but to have both him and Patterson on the bench at the same time. And Sobey for different reasons, but you're right.
Turnaround wouldn't work then for Jock Perry. So Kadee leads the charge here. And where has their offense come from with this 5 on the court? No, Drimmick can fill it up. He's been busy. Shot clock rolls to single numbers. Well done, McDaniel, to give him nothing to work with. Krebs fires, can't connect. McDaniel the rebound. Chance for the JackJumpers to edge a little closer. Adams, 1 of 6 from the field, needs to get something happening. Draws a foul. 4th team foul on Brisbane in this quarter.
Good take from Josh Adams. We know he can shoot it. He's had struggles over the course of the season before that blowout game in Illawarra the other day. But he's at his best when he's on the attack. In transition there, resists the temptation to pull up, puts pressure on the defense, pressure on the officials, gets himself to the line.
The JackJumpers, what they continue to do is defend the three-point line. They do it better than anyone in the competition statistically. And again tonight, holding Brisbane just to 2 of 9. And they may, because of that emphasis, have leaked a bit getting to the basket. But if at the end of the day, if you can hold your opponents to that 20% from the three-point line, it's taking away a major asset of what a lot of teams do.
Majet, McVeigh, all the bottom of the net, and the JackJumpers are back on top. 6 unanswered points, but not for long.
Scott Rock won't enjoy that. Transition open layup after a made basket. Both coaches pulling their hair out, to be honest. I think Deng gave up an offensive rebound off a free throw again. And then Jason Kadee there, the Jack Jumpers, nobody back protecting the basket.
Hey, we fouled 2 3-point jump shooters. The ball's going over our head in the press for I don't know what reason, why we're in front of him like that. We got to get our brains together. He's just running out. Mikhail, you're in. Got Pez. Next time down, we're in 4-wave. Either one will handle it. Sammy, you're coming out. JA's coming off. All right? If you turn the corner, I want the flare over here with Jet. 4-wave.
Check burn. Hey, I'm going to check this one early. This one first, I'm going to turn around and get JA. Keep that flash, check the burn.
Hey, we got to finish this quarter smart. You're bleeding points in the paint. You got to get solid together. 1, 2, 3 together.
Well, they certainly are bleeding points in the paint. 22-4 is the points in the paint stat. So, as I mentioned, doing an outstanding job of guarding the three-point line, but a couple of easier transition baskets where they, like the last one we saw. And based on what Scott Roth was saying, that strategically with their extended pressure, they weren't abiding by their rules and allowed Kadee to get over the top of the defense.
So McVeigh will bring Tasmania forward. Shook off Franks, decided to go on with it, found a passing lane and gets it done.
Great attack from Jack McVeigh. Robert Franks getting up the floor. They throw it to McVeigh, who's an undersized power forward, and can put it on the deck, make some plays, blows right by, finds his teammate underneath. Franks needs to do much better than that, and McVeigh takes advantage.
A little push off, and he did a 360 pirouette for some reason, and that just allowed a straight line drive. You can never underestimate the ability just to keep, even if you're not an elite defender, just keep him in front. And sure, you want to get up and get that ball pressure, but that's led to now Franks' 3rd personal foul, so he's got to go to the bench for the rest of this half.
Krebs has 3 as well. A little over 3 minutes out from half-time, and the Jack Jumpers enjoy a 2-point lead after Brisbane led by 5 in this term. The casual pass from Patterson really split 2 teammates. Eventually found it to Deng, who's on fire at the moment. 5 of 5 from the field. He has 12 to lead the game. And he's doing it with defense as well. Shares it to Kadee, and they get it done, and now the margin is in Brisbane's favour.
What a punch from Deng off the bench.
Adams. He knocks down the 3 and ties it away. Still, the Jack Jumpers taking half their shots from beyond the perimeter. They're hitting them at 53%, so they'll continue to do it.
Deng here, he's feeling it, and he's hit all of his field goal attempts. Perfect 5 of 5. And right there, they put the ball in the hands of McVeigh to get him running the show, and Deng with a little reach and gets a good tap and gets an easy 2 for his team. So it's been a high quality affair. Both teams getting up and down. Brisbane, they'll be looking at this scoreboard and saying, well, we're shooting it at 57% and we only lead it by 1.
Well, that's how Illawarra felt last week playing against the Jack Jumpers, but Tasmania again, 8 triples in this first half at over 50%.
They continue to impress and entertain. Adams hands over to McVeigh. McDaniel. McVeigh found a passing lane where there didn't appear to be one to Adams. Shot clock rolls now to 5. Baseline. Majet against Harrison in a mismatch. Got to the elbow. Tough shot, can't connect. Deng grabs the rebound. Deng to Sobey. And onwards Patterson. Now going to be called on the Jack Jumpers. Free throws to come for Brisbane.
And again, that's the ball movement from Brisbane on display. The ball gets through hands, it whips around the perimeter. And all of a sudden, you're asking some questions of the defense. Can they shift? Can they adjust? And Sobey able to get himself to the free throw line right from the very start of the season. And it's true for most teams, but it was definitely specifically true for this Brisbane lineup. And James Duncan's been beating that drum. They look much better at the offensive end when the ball gets through hands.
My favourite play of the year was in Brisbane, where they inbounded the ball after the opposition had scored. All 5 players touched it, one dribble, and they scored. Just the ball movement was crisp, get everyone involved, know what you're doing, share it around, and they just break down the D, distort it, and get a good look.
But to Derek's point earlier, it's the ball movement combined with the man movement. So you swing that ball around and you're adjusting, and your weak side help, when it's stagnant, it's conditioned to jump to your spots. But when you combine that with some man movement, and that looks like that's going to be an offensive foul. Steindl just trying to get some separation for his teammate and move forward, and that's going to be an offensive foul.
This extended pressure causing some troubles for Tasmania. Yes, McVeigh punished it with that straight line drive to the rim, but the turnover with Deng Deng picking his pocket there, Jason Kadee drawing the foul. Just creating something out of nothing, the Bullets, by getting up the floor.
7 turnovers now for the JackJumpers. Brisbane with 5, but only 1 in this quarter from close range. Patterson with a user-friendly roll. Just his 2nd field goal, but again a 5-point buffer for Brisbane. They've never led by more. And that was an ambitious pass from Majette, who coughed it up again.
Turnover starting to become a factor for the JackJumpers as well. Early on, it was the Brisbane Bullets that were coughing it up, but when you look at it across the entire half, they've only had 5 turnovers.
Well, they had the first 4, so since then it's 8-1 the other way.
Correct. So it's a lot of the times it can be self-inflicted wounds, but and that one really was a poor pass. It was going to be threading the needle, and that back cut was always going to be tough. But there's an offensive foul well off the ball on Jason Kadee, it looks like. Oh dear.
I didn't see the play.
Wow. Not sure I like that decision. Just run in front of the guy who's running down the other end of the floor.
How do you stop it?
Don't blow the whistle.
Contact was there, demanded a whistle.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. How you stop it is you don't reward it.
Just let him sit.
Just say, well, you want to sit on the floor, your team's at a disadvantage.
90 seconds out from halftime. Brisbane by 5. The margin has never been bigger than 6 at any stage in the game, and that was the JackJumpers lead in quarter number 1. Adams. Shot clock rolls to 3. He's got problems. Harrison right in his face. Got it off. Can't connect. Athletic rebound from Deng, who's having his best game of the season. 12 points, 3 boards. Season high was 10 coming into this game as Harrison from close range adds another 2. Brisbane has scored 7 unanswered points to lead by that number.
That's an outstanding passage of play from Harrison. He was on an island guarding Josh Adams on the perimeter. And Adams misses that mid-range, and McIntosh fouls Sobey. He's going to go to the free throw line. And Harrison moves his feet, strong contest on the 3-point attempt, and then down low takes his time against the mismatch. Spins his way to the bucket.
Second foul on McIntosh. He fouled out once this year, and that was on debut against Brisbane down in Tassie. And remembering that opening game, there were 13 lead changes. Score was tied 11 times. We went to overtime. It was a rollicking affair. I was lucky enough to be courtside for the JackJumpers' first game and to open the season. And this one's living up to all the hype.
And a controversial foul in that first game too on Nathan Sobey.
Yeah, ejected in overtime.
Well, according to the hierarchy, it wasn't controversial, but according to how I would like the game officiated, it was a controversial. So we need to clarify that, not to say the officials did anything wrong, because I don't want to get another tap on the nose. Just to say that not sure they made the right decision on that occasion. So really, remember that timeout that JackJumpers had and Scott Roth in that last 3.5 minutes, let's finish it, the score's like a point the difference. Well, they certainly haven't gone about it the way that Scott Roth would have liked. And now a nice little buffer to the Brisbane Bullets against a team that's elite on the defensive end. They've given up 49 points already in the first half.
When who was posted?
Josh and Jay was in posted.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Jet.
Rotate down. Yeah.
You're coming underneath. Mikhail, you're going to bring it. You're going to snap it to Jack, so you got to get a catch. J.A., you're on the nail. You're over the top. Mikhail's going to snap it. Jet, you're underneath. Mikhail's over on the flare. We're going to kick it to Kyle. Mikhail, you're passing to Mikhail. You're going downhill. Clint, you're staying in that corner. All right? Hey, finish the quarter here. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
Brisbane by 9 as we look ahead to rounds 14 and 15. Indigenous rounds going to be celebrated in the Hungry Jacks NBL. And just to acknowledge Indigenous culture across Australia and New Zealand, each team is going to wear a special uniform designed by local Indigenous artists. And they're great jerseys. They're available to purchase at the NBL store. Go and check them out.
Here we go.
It's round 14 and 15. It starts next Friday night. Over 2 rounds, so every team should get a home game in their Indigenous jerseys. We know how important that is to everyone involved in the NBL. Oh, nice skills. Dancing down low, coming up with a finish. McIntosh.
Through the legs, throw Sobey. That was really nice by McIntosh. Great body control to not be forced into that charge.
Sobey's foul, taking the 3. Adams picks up his second personal chance at a 4-point play.
Sobey with a little hell of going to us.
He knows where the camera is. Don't worry about that. And former teammates, former college teammates. Nathan Sobey and Josh Adams played together at Wyoming. Here's that play from McIntosh. This way and that. Double crossover from McIntosh and the former Cowboys. Head-to-head at the top of the arc. And Sobey wins out and looks around, finds the camera. Shout out to 1A Gaze.
I'm not sure that was going through his head, but it was nice. Nice way to finish for Sobey. Finish his first half stint.
Well, worrying signs for the JackJumpers, though. They were in front with 3:40 to play in this first half. And all of a sudden, they find themselves down here by 11 points. And have given up the most points in a half that they've done this season. Here's McIntosh going back to work. He liked it the first time, and he's got more for us.
Well, they found something to play with. They like McIntosh. They like that matchup. Just letting him go an ISO ball, and it's been successful.
Last play of the first half, Patterson with it. Steindl looking a little nervous. Patterson kicks outside. Here's the man who's been making things happen. Dan can't complete it on that occasion. His first miss of the game after hitting his first 5 shots and coming up with 12 points. Half-time at Nissan Arena, and Brisbane have broken away here to a 9-point advantage. It's Brisbane 53, Tassie 44, and it's been entertaining.
Fun first half, for sure. Really good response there from Brisbane at the end of that quarter. In front of their home fans, really important game for the Bullets to just put an end to this 3-game losing streak and get back on track. And James Duncan would be wrapped with how that second quarter finished up.
Well, it's been entertaining. There's still a second half to come your way. Stay with us here. Saturday Night Hoops, the Hungry Jacks NBL. We're having fun. Welcome back to Saturday Night Hoops. A little later, it's going to be second against third, the Phoenix against the Perth Wildcats. But right now, Tasmania and the Brisbane Bullets putting on quite a show. Both teams leading in both the first and the second quarter. But Brisbane have been able to stamp their authority late in that second quarter. Got out to an 11-point advantage, and they'll settle for a 9-point buffer here at half-time. And we've seen good contributions across the board.
Well, they have, and they've been able to score. This much boarded Tasmanian JackJumpers defence has been found wanting, and I think it's been a really good effort by the Brisbane Bullets, the way in which they've been able to move the ball. You see there a couple of turnovers, finding their way to the basket, and then, of course, when you start to knock down the three ball, which they've had some challenges. They're only 4 of 12 from that area, but they've been able to find their way to the free throw line 15 times. Deng Deng gave them a huge spark, like you mentioned, Liam, coming off the bench, his offense, and then Franks with his 11 points and his 6 boards. He was really active, and unfortunately for him, he picked up those 3 fouls. And McIntosh, well, they found a toy to play with at the end of that quarter, didn't they, with the way just isolating him and then could get to the basket. There you see the field goal percentages. Outstanding for Brisbane, almost 60%, and getting it done from the three-point line. On the flip side of that, it's been all about the three-point line yet again, 8 of 16. They just need to try and find more opportunities. And, you know, we spoke about the rebounding count early on where the JackJumpers were just annihilating Brisbane. At half-time, they lead it, the Brisbane Bullets, 16 to 15. So it was a really good turnaround by the Bullets in that department.
First impressions, Liam?
This is what we worried about with the JackJumpers without Will Magna. Yes, their defence has been elite over the course of the season, but Brisbane, they just scored 41 of their 53 points from ones and twos, getting it inside the lane, scoring at the rim. The rim protection's not there for the JackJumpers, and the Bullets are taking advantage.
Let's get courtside. Derek Rucker is with us in commentary. And Derek, what have you made of that first half?
Well, I thought it was a well-played game from both teams so far. The first half has been very exciting, high energy, and Deng Deng obviously has been the most outstanding player. He really electrified the Brisbane lineup. He got in there, he was active, and anytime he knocks down a three, it really drives his confidence. And I think for the first time this season, the Bullets got out of Deng Deng what his true attributes are. Now, from a macro point of view, I think the Bullets, this may be their ideal style of play. High energy offensively, a lot of pressure defensively. Perhaps you're giving up some easy looks at the basket at times, but eventually, guys, they wound up leading the rebound count, as Andrew mentioned, and they're 9 points in front. So who's to say? Maybe this is a revamped look for the Brisbane Bulls and the way they need to be successful.
Ruck, how did you assess that first half from Robert Franks? 11 points, 6 rebounds, did pick up the 3 fouls. What did you make of his first half?
Look, he still shows signs of being a relatively inexperienced pro. That third foul is inexcusable to pick up. Now, prior to that, he looked outstanding. I wish he would have been left on the court. As far as I'm concerned, with so beyond minutes restrictions, you've got to balance that out by letting Franks go. You've got to balance that out by letting Patterson go and getting those guys the basketball. Franks was outstanding and really showing what he can do when given the right time out on the court and the right touches on the court.
And what about the JackJumpers,
yeah,
Derek? They seem to lose their way in that last probably 3 or 4 minutes. That's all it really was.
Well, as you guys said, when that anchor in the middle isn't out there and Will Magnay, and they're taking hits inside, that starts to wear down your psyche, and I think we saw that. Now, can Coach Scott Roth get them together at halftime and reassemble them and get them playing like they were in the first quarter? Look, it's very likely. They're a well-organized team. I was impressed seeing them for the first time in real life. So I think, look, all these games here in Brisbane are a high-drama case, the type of game you love.
And who's going to win, Derek, from here?
Oh, the Bulls are going to win this, but let me tell you, it's not going to be easy.
Great to have Derek Rucker courtside there. We've got a great second half coming your way. Stay with us here. The Bullets on top at the moment by 9. Expect the JackJumpers to come back hard. It's the Hungry Jacks NBL on Saturday night. Welcome back to Nissan Arena. The Brisbane Bullets have lost their last 3 games by a combined 10 points, but they have a healthy 9-point edge here at halftime. And just a short time ago, their coach James Duncan spoke with Derek Rucker.
James, outstanding first half from the team. Quick thoughts on that first half.
Pretty good first half. We understand that there's another 20 minutes. JackJumpers are going to come out hard. We got to do the exact same thing and be even more aggressive.
First time I think you've gotten from Dang Dang what you wanted coming into this season. That must please you.
Great, yeah, I mean, it's an absolute boost able to have guys come off the bench and give us that right now. Obviously, we've been struggling to find something from the bench, and just collectively, we just need that for the next 20 minutes.
All right, James, good luck in the second half.
Appreciate it.
James Duncan in need of a soother or two as well.
Yeah, Strepsil, butter menthol, whatever it might need, but something to soothe the throat. And a little something to ease the head as well. I think when you're coaching, the stresses that are going on, and although he's got a nice little lead here, he'd be concerned, well, not concerned, but he'd be wary of what the JackJumpers are capable of doing.
That's one guy there, Lamar Patterson. Not a lot of points tonight. 4 points, just 2 of 5 from the field goal. In fact, he's got 5 assists, leading the way. We talked about the ball movement from the Bullets. I like it when Lamar Patterson's in a playmaking frame of mind. As a result, everybody gets a little bit of the ball, and the Bullets 53 points on the board.
Nathan Sobey played 10 minutes in the first half, restricted to 13 in Cairns on Thursday night. Perhaps we'll see a little more court time in this one. And as we get back underway, Brisbane with a possession arrow. They resort to their original 5 as well. Shared around the perimeter, Kadee, Sobey working on Adams down to the baseline. Not a lot on offer. Patterson with the 3-ball. He knocks it down.
What a great find by Sobey. Drove baseline and knew exactly where the help was coming from on that weak side and was able to piff it across court to the wide open Patterson in the corner. That's just an elite pass.
JackJumpers go with their first 5 to start the second half as well. This is McVeigh with a left hand. He comes up with a nice finish.
Smart attack from McVeigh. Knows his matchup there. Franks is on the 3 personals. Isn't going to want to contest too hard. So he asked the question on that opening possession.
Sobey again looking into the corner, and the pass a little wayward. Franks couldn't control it. Turnover number 8.
Can't run here,
It really is extraordinary when you look at those stats. You mentioned it, Liam, but 28 points coming from points inside the paint as opposed to 10 for the JackJumpers. It's really been a feature of that first half with the Brisbane Bullets.
Majette didn't score in the second quarter after coming up with 5 points in the opening term. Shot clock to 5. McDaniel needs to get busy. McVeigh forced to fire from well outside the 3-point line and still caught it deep. So not getting the high percentage looks they'd like. Tasmania as Kadee works it down low where Patterson spinning into the paint, can't convert. McVeigh back to Majette. Now Perry at the elbow. Lob pass was deep. McVeigh couldn't reel it in. Turnover number 9 now.
That was the right idea.
Correct.
Execution just nowhere near where it needed to be, but McVeigh had the mismatch down low. Couldn't quite finish it off the JackJumpers.
Kadee wanted Franks well read by McDaniel, who came from the weak side. Steals it back for the JackJumpers. 2 minutes played in this third quarter. JackJumpers just the 1 field goal success so far. Perry hands over. Adams from the elbow helps himself to 2 more. Eight-point edge for Brisbane. Both teams have been in front in each of the first 2 completed quarters. And the shot clock rolls down to 5. The penetration comes from Patterson. Tough move, makes it work.
And that's just poor recognition on the defensive end by the JackJumpers. They knew Jock Perry, for all that he can do, he can't guard Lamar Patterson one-on-one from the 45, and no weak side help coming. That's just a breakdown.
Daniel reactive from Tasmania so far. McDaniel goes behind the back, is knocked down, taking the shot. And free throws to come. Jack Salt picks up his first personal.
This is the example of just letting a guy sit. Good job by the officials there to swallow their whistle.
It is, but why is it? It's either... Shouldn't that be a flop warning?
Did he not get one?
No.
I mean, there's contact. Not enough to deserve an offensive foul.
But just enough not to warrant a flop.
Apparently.
There it is there.
Gee, a little bit of acting being done as well. Lamar just trying to sell it.
All sorts of condiments added onto that one. Not just the run-of-the-mill mayo.
Let's get courtside to Derek Rucker.
Drew, you know we're not doing the flop warning anymore.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, come on, Andrew. You've been watching the games. You do more games than anybody in the commentary crew. The flop warning is a thing of the past. They call it every now and again just to let you know that it exists.
Right. I wasn't aware of that.
Brisbane looking to extend the margin and do so. They knock down the three through Robert Franks, who's now got 14 points in the game. The lead all scorers.
Good action from the Bullets. Little ghost screen there from Robert Franks. Doesn't make contact as he comes across the top, but McVeigh pauses to help. Just creates enough space for Franks to catch and shoot.
Jet, McVeigh. Now McDaniel. It's the Mac attack at the moment. But again, they came up empty. Just not happening for Tasmania at the moment. Started to evolve deep in the second quarter, and it's extended across half-time and here into the third. Third personal foul on Josh Adams.
Just found an opening. Just came a little late with the help. And that contact gets Sobey to the line. But I see this next couple of minutes is a little bit more critical than normally you'd expect. Just the way the game's unfolding and the way Brisbane just seem to be getting on top. And get a feeling that JackJumpers, they don't have the answers on the defensive end right now. And as such, they need to be able to put points on the board. They need to be able to maintain it at the other end because right now, I don't think that they have their usual dominance on the defensive end.
Just looked a little sluggish as well. It's not the energy that they showed a little earlier. But let's credit Brisbane, who...
That's it. I think that's more the point. I think Brisbane, you compare the way you're watching this game as to what we saw a couple of nights ago in Cairns, it is a different look and feel about the Brisbane Bullets.
Daniel gets a good look from close range as we get to Derek Rucker.
Liam, Sobey just came out of the game right then. They had a 13-point lead. We know he's only playing with a certain amount of minutes. Would you have left him on, Liam, and just gone for the jugular?
We got a chance here to blow it right out.
Kadee in the corner, knocks down the three, biggest lead of the game.
Particularly, Derek, what I'm talking about, these next few minutes, right now, you just feel like it's really ready to crack open for Brisbane and put this one into a real difficult territory.
The Jet penetrating, but with nowhere to go. Back to the three-point line. Fires unsuccessfully. Well done, Krislovic, to keep it alive for Steindl. He's short on the rim. Loose ball. McVeigh had it. Krebs stole it away, and now they're running. Franks, Kadee in support. Oh, well read by Majet. Knocked down the pass and comes back hard the other way. And that's unconventional with a long-range three. Couldn't get it to go. Well, they are struggling to put points on the board at the moment. Tasmania. Middle stages of the third. Just 8 points in 5 minutes in this quarter from the JackJumpers. And foul's going to be called on Krislovic here. It's going to be his third personal. Second team foul on the JackJumpers in this quarter.
It's always a little concerning when the referee blows his whistle and everyone looks and unaware of actually who the foul is going to be called on.
It's uncharted territory for Tasmania in recent weeks, getting behind by this much. They're usually able just to scrap and claw and keep themselves in the frame in terms of scoreboard pressure. But right now, it's starting to slip away from them. They need to find some energy and some activity at the offensive end. That's a nice start from McVeigh.
Ruck flagged it before. The rotation's starting to happen for the Bullets. They've now got one starter left out there, Kadee. No Sobey, no Franks, no Patterson, at a time when the floodgates look like maybe they were about to open. Pressure on this backup squad to keep things rolling.
Drimmick is short. Hasn't been his season shooting-wise. McVeigh back to McJett. McDaniel. Now to work at Krislovic at the elbow. He comes up with his first points in the game. Margin cut to 10. Krebs hands over for Drimmick. Now Kadee. Drimmick, shot clock to single digits, backing his way in against Steindl, under pressure, double team. Krislovic did well there, now feeds McVeigh.
I'm James Duncan. I've seen enough these last 3 possessions to say, hey, you've had enough of a spell, boys. We need to get you back out here. Because there's a different look and feel about the last 3 or 4 possessions.
He's Dang. He's going to roll the dice a little longer. Tasmania haven't been able to hurt them at the other end largely. Is helping that equation. So the shot clock again rolls to 5. Deng from close range thought he was fouled. Couldn't get it to go. And they just look a little sluggish at the moment. The JackJumpers, McJett trying to make something happen. They're going to count it.
Well, that's now, he's going to go to the stripe to turn this into a 7-zip run for Tasmania and essentially keep them in the game.
There's the
now
foul.
cut to 8. There is the foul, as you say, Drew, and there's a good call, the continuation. He picked that thing up when the contact took place. And they say never give a sucker an even break. I think that's what the Bullets have done here by sitting their main guys.
It is, and Sobey's the one. You look at the plus minuses, he's a plus 15 in this one. No other Bullet in double digits.
Timeout called, 3:07 to play in this quarter. Scott Roth and the JackJumpers with plenty on their plate. It's the Bullets after enjoying a 14-point lead as we go to Derek Rucker.
And that was a big play phase pending how this works out, but there was definite contact on Deng Deng's attack at the basket. Everyone heard it here. Coach James Duncan was jumping up and down, and then McJett makes a really nice play down here in transition to set himself up for an on-one, And Drew, you're right though. The energy change, that's all it takes in a game of basketball is 2, 3, 4 possessions, and then the tempo changes. And then there's a time lag to swing that change back in your favor.
It is, and sometimes it's hard to get it back when you bring your guys back in. The momentum of your opponents picks up, and it's a fine balance you got. You see they've made some changes. Patterson's come back in. But you got to find those minutes, you know, for the way the game's played, whether it's right or wrong, they've got to find some rest for their guys at some stages. But not sure they got the timing right on this one.
Jet makes the extra, so it is a 7-0 run from the JackJumpers, and they've closed to within 7. Patterson back on the floor. Now Drimmick. And some latitude. And the shot clock winds to single digits. Against Krislovic, Patterson might fancy his chances. Steps back for the 3. Oh, the bottom of the net for Lamar Patterson.
That's the stabilising bucket they needed. No surprise, it comes from one of their main guys checking back into the game. Much needed basket there for Brisbane.
Jet and McIntosh combine. Jet goes on with it. They stood off him, fires over Harrison. couldn't complete it. Krislovic athletically kept it alive. The tip-in wouldn't work. McIntosh had it. Loose ball scramble. They hit the deck. Still going at it. Good hustle from Anthony Drimic, but eventually got it away, but only as far as Magenta. McIntosh puts a lid on two.
The fickle hand of fate, because that was all Drimic on the floor doing everything you would ask for, and just the pass gets deflected. But this is Patterson just taking charge. Little step back into his groove and knocks it down, and then we didn't see the pass, but McIntosh in the right place at the right time. But great hustle by Drimic to try and come up with that one. Doesn't get rewarded.
There you see Robert Franks up out of his seat. This is one of those little maneuvers.
Coach, can you see me?
Just to say, in case you didn't know, I'm ready. And here he goes. Caught the attention of the head coach. Back into the game.
Some players give a little bit more direct feedback than that, Liam.
Is that right?
Just let you know that I'm ready, coach.
How does that go down when you're the head coach?
Depends on who it is.
Depends on who it is. Kev, you good?
Yeah.
Happy to hear it.
Get back in there, please.
So McIntosh picks up the foul, going to be his third personal.
Couple steps back this way if you could, please.
Adams playing with 3. Krislovic has 3. And for Brisbane, Krebs, Kadee and Franks all with 3 fouls. Inside the last 2 minutes of the third quarter, it's Brisbane by 8. Started this quarter with a 9-point buffer. As Drimic shares it, finds the open man in Moss, who's short. Weeks grabs the rebound. Another chance here for the JackJumpers, just to edge a little closer. In shadows of three-quarter time. McIntosh against Patterson. Just marches into the paint. Gets the look outside for Krislovic. It wouldn't work. And now 8 of 23 from deep, JackJumpers. So they're 2 of 15 from deep since half-time. So it's been lean pickings for them. Franks fires with a left hand. Didn't look likely. Our team's just struggling to come up with a high percentage play at the moment, although Steindl gets a good look, can't complete it. So inside the last 60 seconds, this is Moss handing over. They wanted Harrison. The ball slips through his hands. And an opportunity goes begging.
Great pass. And Harrison there just looked like he was thinking ahead rather than just concentrating on catching the ball. Looked like he was thinking pass before he even caught it, and it slipped straight through his fingers.
Fans getting involved as well. Pivotal part of the game. Harrison's going to be called for the foul. First personal for him.
Well, luckily they had a foul to give. Big fella just needs to slide his feet there. Stay solid. Needs to keep his head here. Lets it slip through his fingers. Gives away a foul. Any more from the Bullets?
They say 3 seconds. That's a good question, Tassie. So
I thought that was their 4th for the quarter. Maybe they got 1 more to go. So chance to close this one out strong. Regain that double-digit margin with a quarter to play.
Working on the clock here and get it to the right number, but I mentioned it had dried up for Tasmania from deep in this quarter. They're none of 8 and 7 of 10 from inside the three-point line. So there's a story there for them to work on.
It really had been the secret of their success. Wasn't in the first half, 8 of 16.
Yep.
In the first 2 quarters, but it has well and truly dried up from long range.
Well, they're overdue, Steindl believes. He fires another one. Couldn't get it to go. Moss snatches the rebound. Shot clock 11 seconds inside the game clock as we head toward three-quarter time. Brisbane on top by 8. Margin got out to as big as 14 in this quarter. Patterson, Harrison again just couldn't handle the pass.
Well, they weren't on the same page. Harrison wanted it upstairs around the rim, and Patterson gave it to him at his belly button while he was in the air, and it just not coordinating together. And that's what happens when you're down on form. A lot of times you can see it with shots, but sometimes the decision-making as well, and Patterson that time just not in the right place.
Had 6 turnovers at half-time, Brisbane. They've got 13 now. And a travelling violation, speaking of turnovers, called on Majet. It's only the second turnover in this quarter for Tasmania, in contrast. But still Brisbane holding them at bay.
4.2.
The last play of the third quarter. Brisbane by 8.
Ready? Lamar, ready? Here we go.
Foul to give hit for the Bullet, for the JackJumpers.
Kadee, dangerous from half court. He gets a good look, can't finish it. So with 1 quarter to play, the Brisbane Bullets turn for home with an 8-point edge. It's 69-61. 3-quarter time from Nissan Arena, Saturday Night Hoops. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. From Nissan Arena, you're with our continuing coverage of round 13 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. A seesawing affair between the JackJumpers and the Bullets, but the Bullets are getting warm when it counts the most. They lead by 8 as we head into the 4th and final quarter here. A reminder, it's the Phoenix and Perth coming up a little later, second against third. But the JackJumpers here with a possession arrow and need to get some more of that effective ball movement in the offensive end that served them so well in the first half. And McIntosh bullies his way down, helps himself to 2 more, 16 on 7 of 8 shooting.
Well, that's also showed in the first half as a real strength. McIntosh just in the elbow isolation or from the top of the key, able to find his way relatively easily to the basket. And he's been having one of his better games. 7 of 8 from the field, McIntosh. And I'd be going straight back to it.
It's a 6-point buffer. It was as big as 14. JackJumpers have never come from this far down to win at 3-quarter time. But they've been setting and equaling records all season for a Tasmanian franchise. So why not?
Crystal Vic misses that one, but that was perfect execution. They all jumped at McIntosh, and the little slip, because of McIntosh's dominance in this game so far, they jump out on him, and Crystal Vic misses an easy one.
Move the ball around back to Kadee. Here's Patterson. Works inside Krislovic. They get it to Franks, and he's fouled, knocking down the 3. Chance at a 4-point play.
That's what happens when you move the ball. Really unselfish play there for Brisbane. Guys turning down looks for better looks and then making the defense shift. There, Patterson at the end of the play. Up fakes Krislovic, gets into the lane. 4-point play opportunity for Robert Franks.
One bonus, guys. One only.
Don't go early, all right? Yep.
This to push the margin back into double figures. And no problems at all for Robert Franks. So some work to do for the JackJumpers. Franks with 18. After coming up with 19 when these teams played back on opening night. Krislovic. Majet against Franks. Shot clock to 5. Steindl reeled it in eventually and decided to fire. It was a good idea.
Just, there's going to be a turnover. Good deflection came straight back into his hands.
Patterson shaking off Steindl. Sobey bounces into Krislovic. They find Franks open on the other wing. This time can't connect. Good hands over the back, kept alive there by Deng. And he's ready to go in the corner. Can't complete it. Now Weeks off and running. Trying to bring some energy onto the floor with the JackJumpers. They go to Majet. He fires. Caught it deep, and again, three-point shooting has just fallen away for them. They're at 33%, 9 of 27 in this one, after being 5 of 10 at quarter time. Sobey making on Weeks. Found an opening. Oh, and he whistled.
Thank you. Touch it. Sub blue. Subs here. Let's go. No, you can't. Let's go.
Oh, that's unfortunate for the JackJumpers. Foot violation called, but you see Josh Majet there. He got his hand down there.
He's pretty convinced it was. It did look like the foot. You could see what the official might have saw, but according to him, it was all hand. And let's have a look. And he did. He just hit it with his hand. The fact that he raised his foot screened his hand from the vision of the official.
Now Patterson with it. Shot clock rolls to 5. Guarded by McIntosh, but not for long. He forces a way pass, talked out of the points, loose ball. Frank's got a piece of it there, kept it alive for Kadee. Shot clock violation in the background, points won't count.
You just got to be conscious to continue moving the ball, Brisbane. Deng, they had a reset, let it fly in the corner there. Maybe not the best shot to take there. Patterson, isolation play, trying to do it all on his own. Crunch time now, got to continue to play through what's been working.
Took over 3 minutes played in the final quarter. McVeigh works inside. Now McIntosh has been the go-to player and he's been effective against Patterson. He elevates, can't complete it. McVeigh getting into the back of Franks there. And is going to be called for the foul. His first personal. Nathan Sobey's played 16 minutes tonight after having 13 minutes restriction in Cairns on Thursday night. We've got 7 minutes to play. Do we see him again?
Well, I think Derek, not putting words in Derek's mouth, but maybe I'm just imagining. I thought Derek said he was on a 20-minute limit on this one. So maybe just give him a quick spell here and bring him home for the last 5 minutes.
Well, Scott Roth wanted a travelling violation on Patterson. I think I'm with him on that. Well, they get away with it. The margin pushed out to 9 with 6.5 to play. You know they can get hot from deep. They showed us last week, equaling the NBL record in a 40-minute game. Poor pass picked off by Miles. Can chop upstairs. Dunkuary gets at it.
Big play from Isaiah Moss. They love it. The Bullets, they're getting loud there at the Armory in this arena. Moss just sitting in the passing lane. Lazy pass around the perimeter, gets his hands to it, and then throws it down with authority down the other end.
Looking good. Brisbane on top by 11. We'll have more for you from Nissan Arena. 6:12 to play. And I guess they can roll the dice now with Sobey and let him sit there until they need him to come back again if he's required.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. May not even need to go there, James Duncan. This squad out there, if they can get a couple of stops, a couple of buckets, keep this thing out beyond double digits, and keep Sobey on ice and close out the victory. That's certainly what the high performance manager will be hoping. in the background there behind the squad, and certainly James Duncan would feel that way as well. Big couple of minutes here for Tasmania. Trying to just keep things rolling, win their 6th game from their last 7 games, but it's going to have to happen in these next couple of minutes then to give themselves a chance.
So a tick over 6 minutes left on the clock. Brisbane on top here by 11. And the JackJumpers with plenty of work to do. We saw last Sunday they came up with 96 points in their win over Illawarra, and here they are with 66. Middle stages of the 4th. Season low at 62 for the JackJumpers, but that's a way to get things done. Just get the ball to McColl-McIntosh.
Again, it's just a get it to him, clear out, a rip to the basket, and with the chance for a 3-point play. This is saving as his strength and what he can bring to the team, particularly when they're not prepared to come and offer too much help.
Spoke to him in pre-season, McColl-McIntosh, in advance of his first year in the NBL. Asked him about his game. He said, I like to play bully ball. I like to put it on the deck. I've got some foot speed and some strength that I can use to my advantage. 8 of 10 from the field tonight for his game-high 18 points.
We saw him do similar against Melbourne 3 weeks ago when the JackJumpers upset United in 94-85. His best game of the season. And he's doing it again here, and he could be the X factor with the likes of Josh Adams, just 9 points on 3 of 10 shooting. Half his season average. Let's get courtside to Derek Rucker.
Just to jump in on the back of that conversation you guys had about Nathan Sobey, the time was around 20 plus, 20-ish minutes, and I think right now I'd get him back in for 2 reasons. One, we need to win this game, and we have a better chance if Nathan Sobey's out there. And secondly, he needs the minutes in his legs, especially in, you know, tight games like this one.
Oh, they want the continuation, but it's going to be waved away. He made this shot on the bump. Well, Josh Majette doesn't like it.
Good to have a look at this replay. Did he dribble that? I couldn't see. It looked like he took the... Wasn't, if there wasn't an extra...
I don't think he did.
Well, then that should be a continuation.
Where's his sense of occasion?
Well, beyond that, where is just the application of the rules?
He goes to the stripe, an 80% plus free throw shooter, and all of a sudden a 6-point game. Right now they have to work a little harder. Shot clock. Rolls to 5. McIntosh hands over. Here's Adams, who's overdue, off the mark, and continues to have his shooting woes. 2 of 6 from deep, 3 of 11 overall.
That's now 1 of 12 from long range for Tassie in the second half.
Moss off the mark as well. Adams has scored just 2 points since half-time. He's their leading scorer at 17 a game to be top 10 in the competition. Had 20 when these teams played back on the opening night. So Brisbane by 9 as we count down the last 5 minutes from Nissan Arena. Brisbane 4-4 at home. Tasmania 3-4 on the road. With those 3 wins, they're doing better than a lot of other teams in the competition, and that's good. Delay of game warning there against Majette, but they'll get the 2. But Tasmania with 3 wins on the road, that equals Adelaide, Brisbane and Cairns combined total. Yes, one of those was on their home floor against New Zealand, but it just goes to show how tough it is to win on the road. And as a new franchise, they've done a good job of it.
When you're a really good defensive team, you have a far better chance of picking up those road wins as opposed to if you're just relying more on your offense. And they've been pretty good in this one, although I wouldn't say it'd be one of their better defensive performances. They're pretty good, and what's happened is they started the game on fire on the glass, and as the longer the game's gone, and then we see Nathan Sobey checking back in, but they're now losing the rebounding count 26-32. So there's been a significant turnaround with the work on the boards.
I think the biggest factor in that is that they've started missing shots, so more defensive rebounds available for the Bullets in this second half than it was in the first. I think the big factor for Tassie, you talk about their defense being sensational, and they've talked all year about how it will travel for them, but to turn a weakness into a strength, their ball movement at the start of the year, it wasn't there.
Yep.
And as a result, their offense was last in the league for efficiency. And now, Brian Gorgon, after the loss to the JackJumpers last week, said they're the best in the league at moving the ball. So that's a feather in Tasmania's cap. Scott Roth, the coaching staff, all the players to improve in that regard over the course of the season.
Majette to the foul line, fires, knocks down another. He's got 12 points in the game.
Well, they're hanging around to make sure that the Brisbane Bullets stay nervous about this one. And Brisbane have been nervous and shown some nerves in a few games and haven't always come up trumps.
Kadee. Here's Patterson starting to have an influence, offensive rebounding-wise. Gets it inside to Franks. And he's off to the free throw line.
1-2. Hands. Thanks, mate.
Supercar driver Will Davidson and wife Brianne there, enjoying the Brisbane Bullets. What a talent he is.
2 guys.
And a very accomplished performer, his wife as well, behind the camera, or in front of the camera, I should say.
Spoke about Robert Franks earlier, and the way he started the season, 20-10 type of guy. Well, this free throw right here knocks it in. That is 20-10 for him tonight. Cleaning up the defensive glass, 9 of his 10 boards defensively, and giving them the offensive punch they need from him night after night.
Time is now for Tasmania. Got it back to within 6 in this quarter. McVeigh forces it up, couldn't finish it. McDaniel, the offensive rebound. Majette goes back to McVeigh in the corner, drops the triple. Margin cut to 6 once more. Tick over 3 minutes to play.
3 of 5 now from McVeigh. Again, a lucky one. The bounce of the ball goes the way of the JackJumpers, and it falls in the hands for a wide open McVeigh in the corner.
Shot clock rolls to 5. Kadee tries his luck from deep. Oh, the bottom of the net. Kadee hits his second triple of the game.
He has a knack for hitting big shots. Jason Kadee in big moments.
Majette for the answering triple. Oh, this is just like it was back in round 1 where they stood toe-to-toe. Needed overtime when they last played. As Kadee picks up the dribble, Patterson, nice pass, ding to the hoop for the flush.
That's that ball movement. Beautiful execution, read the defense, and rather than threading it from the on ball, the kickback pass just made that angle. There's Kadee with the long 3. Straight away, JackJumpers come back and keep the pressure on, but it's that pass that when Kadee comes off, the kickback pass and the dive.
Make or miss. So make or miss. When we're bringing the ball up, they're going to try to trap. They're going to try to trap. So as you're bringing the ball up on the sideline, they're going to try to trap. Just be aware of that. All right? We can, you got it? We can go back to the I-4 with you 2 running it. All right? Sometimes as you cut, maybe you have a slip like you did last time.
You hit me wrong, be ready.
All right?
Hey, when they go the pistol stuff, these guys got to switch up and be aggressive. All your help's in the middle.
Good stuff from James Duncan there, preparing his squad for that extended pressure. They didn't talk about the Bullets was there are baskets to be found at the rim for Brisbane to close out this game. All small squad has been on the floor for the JackJumpers. They've had, in that last few minutes there, they had McVeigh at the 5, Steindl at the 4. And they took advantage at the end. No rim protection at all. So Deng Deng at the rim, easy finish off that action. They've gone a little bigger now, brought in McIntosh. Still no rim protection on the floor for the JackJumpers.
Majette to McIntosh. Looks to take them on, lost his footing. Sobey pounces on it. Forces the jump ball.
It was almost a version of pulling the chair then. Sobey just took a half a step off and he didn't feel the contact, McIntosh, and as such, he falls over as he tries to spin.
Don't see it a lot these days. It was masterfully worked by Casper Ware.
We see it more in the low post when guys are trying to post up against the smaller guys. They really want that contact, and then you give them the contact, then you release it. They lose it, and there's a
intentional
foul. James Duncan wants an intentional foul call on sportsmanlike. Still 2:24 on the clock. Plenty of time here. It's only 8 the margin, although we started this quarter at that mark with Brisbane in front by 8.
There wasn't much in that.
Gee, I don't know about intentional.
There's a little wrap-up to begin with. And
we probably think it's the last 2 minutes.
That's right.
That's what he's got confused.
You foul. There's the former Wyoming teammates having a bit of a laugh and a chat. But, yeah, you wrap up like that and foul before it's inbounded in the last 2 minutes. 2 in possession. But right now, just the bonus 2 for Kadee.
83% free throw shooter coming into the weekend. Jason Kadee, very reliable. Right now, they're just holding the JackJumpers at bay. And they need a win. Need to 6-10 on the season if they can, and a 5-4 record at home. It's still more than 2 minutes on the clock for the JackJumpers. McVeigh goes back to Majette. Guarded by Franks, works for the non-preferred right hand and spins back inside. Steindl, nothing on offer for him. McVeigh from the elbow, and the tip in from Steindl wouldn't work, and Sobey's got it and came up limping. Inside 2 minutes remaining. Brisbane by double figures. As Kadee looks for Deng. Got McVeigh in the air, should have forced it up, goes outside instead. Jet pulls it down for Tasmania.
That's where Robert Franks needs to cut to the rim.
The Jet found a way past Patterson. Up around wouldn't work. And they just struggled to score in the second half. Tasmania not doing enough at the moment with 93 seconds to play.
Got a mismatch here with McIntosh. Kadee's guarding McIntosh.
They find McIntosh, and he travelled. Turnover number 13 for Tasmania. Brisbane has 14 in that category.
I travel too.
That's a big travel.
He's grabbing them all game. I travel too, Vaughn.
Might have been a travel. I kind of agree with Scott Roth there that you see a lot of those don't get called.
Sobey, penetration for Patterson. How can he use all the clock they've got here at the moment? They lead by 10 in the driver's seat. Patterson, alley-oop play just caught the rim. He was looking for Deng. Josh Adams wants to get something happening quickly. Down to the baseline, helps himself to 2. 11 in the game now for Adams, but only 4 since half-time. Margin cut to 8.
Lucky foul.
McIntosh called for his 4th personal. Free throws to come.
Thank you. We've got 2 bonus. 2 bonus. Let's go.
Line up, guys.
Some players do attract a whistle a little more than others, and Nicole McIntosh, unfortunately for him, does tend to be one of those players. Because at times, including that one just there, I think I've seen more contact tonight in the game that went unwhistled.
That's it. Don't do any more. This one was.
And he thought, and so did Scott Roth, that he was being fouled at the other end, which forced him into a travel.
I think it was more of the officials thinking that they're trying to foul and they wanted the foul, so they see us soft ones and then they blow it thinking they're doing the right thing, when sometimes in those circumstances you almost have to go up to the officials and say, we're not fouling. We're not going to foul. We're not trying to foul here. So
Tassie could do with a 3 here. Majette trying to draw contact. Couldn't get a whistle. Referee's not buying it. And the woes from deep continue in the second half of Tassie. Now they are looking to foul. And Adams giving Sobey one of the chops. Forget about playing together at college.
Yep.
Give me that rock.
You're going to get 2 bonus, right?
He's had a frustrating night, Josh Adams.
A little slap in the eye. Right there. Little sting.
What are you doing? 2 shots?
Could you imagine, can you picture how fun that Wyoming squad would have been to watch at the time?
Athletic.
These two high flyers in the backcourt. Larry Nance Jr.
What's that?
in the front
Reasonable
court.
bounce.
Let's change. 2.
Oh, just exciting to have Nathan Sobey back playing after missing those games. Third in MVP voting last season behind Bryce Cotton and Tyler Harvey. All-NBL team, bronze medalist at the Olympic Games.
So important for this squad. He knocks this free throw in. They've outscored Tassie by 18 during Sobey's 20 minutes on the floor. And this team, they're going to try and make a little bit of a playoff push here if they can string a few wins in a row and turn their season around. A lot of it's going to be on the back of having Nathan Sobey back in the lineup and playing at a high level.
Well, bigger picture for Brisbane, the story is that they've missed the playoffs the last 2 years, and only 4 of the last 5 they haven't qualified. And when they came back into the competition, they would have been expected, well, they were perennial finalists. Robert Franks has been good tonight with 20 points and 11 rebounds, but they probably haven't lived up to expectation if you look at it bigger picture.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and it's difficult. It is difficult when you've been out of the competition for a while like they were and come back and really starting from fresh in putting a team together. Andre Lamanis did a good job during that phase where you're coming back into the competition and then hands over now, and all the great coaching in the world, ultimately it's about getting the talent, and they've been pretty good. You know, you look at some of the players there, Rick Patterson, Vic Law, fortunately weren't able to hang on to him. Looks like they've got another beauty in Franks, and just only takes 1 or 2 pieces and it can really transform your team around. And they've been close. They've been really close without necessarily getting over the line. And I think that, they've got a good nucleus to build around here.
Well, last season they went 18-18 and missed out the playoffs by 1 game.
Yeah, well, that's where they've lived in the last little while, haven't they? The last
didn't
few
the year
years.
before that it was 15-13 and missed out on percentages?
Missed on percentages.
So they've had some really good seasons.
And they snuck in that 1 year. Bryce Cotton sent them packing in straight games.
2019, yep, when they were 14-14.
McVeigh hits the 3 there just to keep things interesting. Some extended pressure from the JackJumpers here.
They'll open up now for the Bullets, and getting back Steindl did a good job to defuse it. Yes, only the last 5 completed seasons, just 1 winning season for Brisbane in terms of win-loss record. Dang, he's like split up, licking the lips. Steindl out of nowhere. Did he creep up on him like a librarian? To borrow from the great Dennis Cometti. And Steindl ended up in the front row there. But again, credit to the JackJumpers fighting this one right out. They were down 14 in the third and things weren't happening for them. They couldn't knock down the 3. But here they are, still scrapping away. Had it back to 6 with 3 minutes to play. And Scott Roth and the JackJumpers and all the fans in Tasmania know what they're going to get from this team every time, and that's 100%. Love what they've done in their debut season. This would be 7 and 8 through their first 15. And not many people gave them that many wins coming in as Brisbane had another 2. Chance of a 3-point play here for Franks.
They are going to be a real tough out because of the way they play defense and in recent times, the way they shoot the ball. Got a lot of threats from the perimeter. If you're not coming and showing them the respect, then you're going to pay because they will make life difficult for teams. They're one of the, and Scott Roth has done it beautifully in making a decision of what's going to be the foundation of your team. Hard-nosed, scrappy, annoying defense. Never really feel comfortable, and just really superb ball movement on the offensive end. And sure, you'll have some days where the ball won't necessarily bounce your way or you'll be missing some shots you normally expect to make. But there's enough on this roster to challenge the very best which we've seen. They beat arguably the best team in the competition on their home deck a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, beat Melbourne easily. So the shot clock is going to be 4 seconds inside the game clock here in Tasmania. with Josh Majette in charge. Josh Adams has just fouled out just for the second time this season. And here's Nicole McIntosh getting another 2 and drawing a foul. So he's up to 20. And a chance to make it 21 and join Jack McVeigh as the JackJumpers equal high scorer. Just look at Lamar Patterson, 16 points, 10 assists for Lamar Patterson. Just the third player this year to have double-figure assists behind Tajir McCall and Jalen Adams.
And that's the recipe for the Bullets. They're not going to win games with Patterson scoring 26, 27 and others not getting involved. That's the sweet spot there for LP.
Well, they were desperate for a win, the Brisbane Bullets, and they are going to prevail. They have defeated the Tasmanian JackJumpers here in the final analysis by 8 points. It's Brisbane 94, Tasmania 86.
Good, solid, much-needed win for the Brisbane Bullets. Snapping their 3-game losing streak, rewarding their home fans. Look, they're loving it, nice and dry. Inside the arena there while it's pouring outside, and they come in and see their squad get a hard-earned win. And Robert Franks was big. He's the Foot Locker player of the game, 23 points, 11 boards. It's his first double-double for his past 9 games. Franks had 4 double-doubles in his first 7. A big-time return to form for their star import up front.
Yeah, it's been a great performance by the Bullets, and it's a notice they switched it on. Maybe it's back on their home deck, and the circumstances, 1 and 7 in their last 8. But to see them be able to answer that question and show that intensity on the defensive end, extra passing, a little bit slicker on the offensive end, and they get a well-earned rest, a well-earned win at home.
They have got the job done, the Brisbane Bullets. They won it by 8, 94-86. Stick around, a whole more coming your way here. Saturday Night Hoops, the Hungry Jacks NBL continues after this. Well, an entertaining way to kick off Saturday night hoops between Brisbane and the Tasmania JackJumpers. So they had a seesawing battle in the first half. Tassie out to a 6-point advantage in the opening quarter. Both teams in front in both the first and the second quarters, but toward the end of the second and then coming into the third, well, Brisbane were able to stamp their authority. Saw Deng come up with 12 points in the first half, and Kyle McIntosh was big in the second half, but just able to hold Tasmania at arm's length and get an 8-point win. And now they're 1-1 on the season, given that Tasmania beat Brisbane in overtime by 9 back in round 1.
It is, and the way in which Brisbane were able to work their way into the paint, get some scoring options, particularly in the second half. And this is where Will Magnay makes a big difference. If he's out there, the rim protection he provides, great effort by Brisbane and what they were able to do, but he is one of those players in this particular contest would have made the difference. But I love the game. I love the way that both teams were moving the ball. 22 assists to Brisbane, 18 to the JackJumpers. So a lot of ball movement, a lot of passes. Robert Franks was exceptional, and this really needs to be the prototype for the Bullets. They need the scoring productions from their imports. In games against Cairns, they only had 22 points combined. 16 and 23 is going to get it done. There you see the field goal percentages. Not bad from the three-point line by either team. In mid-30s and above, you generally say it's acceptable. And then rebounding was fairly even, but the big difference in that first quarter in particular, it was the JackJumpers who had that advantage there. And turnovers similar, bit high for both, 15 and 13 for each, so tolerable levels, but you'd like to see a few less by both teams.
And they dried up from three-point territory in that second half, didn't they? The JackJumpers, they hit 8 threes in the first half at 50%.
Yeah.
Just 4 made threes in the second half at 25%. That was huge for them offensively, and the Bullets got away from them down the other end. They've kept teams to a league-low 78 points per game this season, and tonight 94 on the board for Brisbane.
Perth got 101 against Tasmania earlier in the season. That score of 94 tonight is the second highest that they've given up. And the ladder, well, Tasmania just hovering outside the top 4 at the moment, and Brisbane get their 6th win of the season. So they've got a hectic schedule with away games against Melbourne, New Zealand coming up next weekend. But Tasmania, well, they kept it close. It was only a 6-point game with 3 minutes to play. They keep hanging around, doing a good job in their debut season of the NBL. Speaking of debuts, the Amy Crossover has been an outstanding addition to the NBL coverage, and that's coming up very shortly. Stick around for that. And then after that, Andrew Gaze, Liam Santa Maria and myself will be back here to see the second-place Southeast Melbourne Phoenix host the third-placed Perth Wildcats. It's a big one.
Tasty.
Coming your way. Tasty is the word. So grab something to eat. Enjoy crossover. We'll be back with the Phoenix and Perth to round out your Saturday night action in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Trade. This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Amy.
Locker room hype, get ready for the drop.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Amy crossover. So good to have your company. Saturday night hoops, it doesn't get better than this. The Bullets getting the job done at Nissan Arena over the JackJumpers, 94-86. We're going to break that down. We've got a lot to talk about tonight on the Amy crossover and a full couch, a full complement of stars with us tonight. Marley Biondolo is with us. He brought his best shoes along for the night. An NBL1 star with Dandenong. Kane Pittman, leading journalist for ESPN, NBA, hoops, NBL, anything that comes across your desk, we like to hear about it. So hello to you, Kane. Damon Lowry, if you don't know who Damon is, he is a legend of the NBL. A championship winner with Wollongong, and he's got a lot on his plate tonight. You've got bullets to fire off, I reckon, don't you?
It's all happening. Let's get it on.
OK, we're excited because it is going to be a big show. But let's start, and I'm Drew Jones, the host, by the way. Let's start with what happened at Nissan Arena. A victory for the Bullets. They'd lost 7 of their last 8 games. Damon, I'll start with you. Did this make up for their poor performance against Cairns on Thursday night?
Un poco to my Spanish viewers. Un poco. A little bit. A little. Now, the factor of sadness isn't as sad. They broke it. Now, they turned it around a little bit. They all collectively agreed that they were playing some selfish basketball. And I think they collectively agreed that Robert Franks needs to be more involved. And they came out straight away, got him involved. Big Rob hit his first shot, hit his 3, got him feeling good about himself. And I think the game just rolled on from there.
Yeah, so 23 points, 11 rebounds, and it felt like they ran some plays for Robert Franks, unlike on Thursday night. Marley, when you're out there, and especially as a point guard, and you want to facilitate for a big guy who can score in and out, what are you thinking on court?
Got to get that guy the ball. I mean, look at what he's doing. You know, we've got to get him the ball. Look at this play here. He can score with versatility. The guy can shoot it, he can get to the rim. He can make plays for others as well. So I think that he just needs to, you know, either demand the ball more or guys need to get him the ball more because, as we can see, it shows results. They win games when Robert Franks scores the ball and shoots the ball.
So they're now 6-10 on the season. Finals, Kane, probably still out of the question for the Bullets. Lamar Patterson with a double-double tonight. What did you make of Brisbane?
Well, they may think if they turn it to the factory of positivity that they are still a mathematical chance of the postseason. But I think just to get back to Franks, I mean, he's... average shots per game in the first 3 games of the season, 17.3. He's been down around 11 or 12 for the rest of the season. He's the best player on this team, so get him the ball. But with the other guys, Nathan Sobey working his way back in, Lamar Patterson trying to still find his rhythm. They've got a good big 3, but Franks is the man.
Clearly. And what I like, Lamar Patterson with his double-double, 10 assists. Now, he's got to be happy with that. He can't be going away, and not saying that he is. But if you can go away feeling good about a win, and you distribute it, and you don't have to be the man.
Yeah.
Let Rob be the man today, at least today. So if that'll spread throughout the group. So it's unselfishness. Rob's our guy today. Let's feed him and let's play off of him.
So the factory of sadness on ice for a little while in Nissan Arena. Factory of badness for the Adelaide 36ers right now. Another loss last night, and CJ Bruton, their coach, not happy about it. He's